Hello, everyone, and welcome back to This Week in Guns. It's brought to you by Patriot Patch Company, VZ Grips, MAF Corporation, and Primary Arms. This show offers commentary on the latest firearms industry news, information, and buzz. I'm your host, Matthew LaRosiere, and I've got a special treat for you guys tonight. A couple episodes ago, I had on one of my friends, Mr. Ivan, and his visage, right? Like the way he looks was offensive to some of you. There were some complaints saying that I can't be taken seriously if I'm sitting there talking to a spinning rat. So I thought I'd make it up to some of you guys, and I would have a special panel of distinguished guests. Ivan the spinning rat is not going to be on here. So first up, I have Mr. Sabby R. Bronson. Welcome to the stream.
You're welcoming to the stream. Thank you.
Yes. Mr. Bronson is a distinguished scholar of the culinary arts. He is from...
A terror from the deep.
He is a terror from the deep, as I understand.
Yeah, a scourge to the disabled community, a bullier of invalids.
That's really something. So actually, Sabby here is the representative of the bad guys, which in my opinion is one of the last comedy groups on the whole internet. Should look them up. I think, what is it your videos can be found on right now?
Well, actually, we've rebranded to the band guys now. So if you want to find us.
No, your videos can be found on, what is it? Is it Odyssey?
Yeah, it's Odyssey, the bad guys.
Yeah, so go on there, go on Odyssey, also go on their Patreon. We're actually helping them get through their some crap that's been going on with the YouTube. Hopefully get them back on YouTube, but the content is amazing. It's like true comedy gold. I really recommend you guys check it out. And he's also just a great guy to riff with. So I thought, him being somebody that owns a couple guns, but doesn't really care about guns. Well, no, that's not fair to say. You care about guns, but you're not like in it like we are.
I cared so much about guns that when the handle fell off my 12 gauge, I duct taped it back on.
That's pretty big. And then also for the panel, we have distinguished PhD of external medicine, Sir Ivan Lee.
Hi, it's a different. It's not me. It's a different one. Before anybody gets any ideas, it's
not
different.
A rat.
The other one was offensive.
I'm no longer dizzy. I have my wits about me, and I remembered that I've been knighted in doctorhood.
So we've got a lot of stories to talk about tonight, guys. Many of them will increase your blood pressure. Some of them may increase pressure to other parts of your body. But to start off with, let's talk about. And I know this is something that's a favorite of yours, Mr. Bronson, and that's sponsors.
Lovely.
Yeah, do you love that, right? You like commercials? Do you watch them?
I love commercials. I watch them all day. I fast forward through the program to get to the next commercial.
Well,
if you're looking for good writing in 2022, you're looking for Febreze, Dyson.
Yeah, that's big.
Any insurance company, I'll take it.
Or primaryarmscompany.com. Primaryarmscompany.com has a website that I struggle with every time, but they have been a longtime supporter of the show. They are a great purveyor of arms, ammunition, and accessories. They sell a whole litany of products, primarily arms, actually. And we have a special for listeners of this show using promo code FRN. If you get the low-powered variable optic with the ACSS reticle, it's the Primary Arms 1 through 6 by 24, I believe it is. You get a free Primary Arms mount with your purchase with code FRN. That's Foxtrot Romeo November. So let's just take a look here, see what kind of stuff they got. They got a year-end clearance event. Is that exciting?
Yeah, why stop at one item? It's time to splurge. It's a clearance event.
Yeah, that's pretty big.
These only come around the years only end once a year.
Hey, they got an actual ACOG for $899.
You've played it in Call of Duty. Now do it in real life. At the mall.
Look at the thing. It popped up. yeah. Let's see what. And then what is this? This
So
is the most suspicious looking 9mm I've ever seen.
I bought a case of this stuff because it was like 23 cents around. They actually guarantee you one primer that will not go off per box, so you can train with it.
Yeah, what is
They don't
that
guarantee-
language?
Turkish. It's Turkish.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I just love that brass case. Pirink Kovan. Pirink.
Of the
Sounds like
three
the name of a
cases
dictator who, like,
of the three
committed
cases of
mass
Turkish
genocide.
among the
Looks
three
at
cases
Kovan.
of Turkish ammo I've shot, this has been the most reliable, where it was like one round that didn't go off a box, but all of them at least left the barrel at some nominal velocity. Some of them that I've bought will leave the barrel at like half of what 9mm should be going for unexplained reasons. So it's like they each try to you get random rounds that'll try and squib as an exciting bonus
good.
feature.
So yeah, maybe for pistol length barrels only.
Perhaps.
Listen, these rounds will work in any firearm chambered in 9x19mm, and they have boxer primers that are watertight to stand up to the elements, as well as the test of time.
Just look at the shine on those boys.
Them shiny
Shinier
boys.
the bullet,
true.
the faster it goes.
That's it. That's that. I'm a PhD, and I can say that that's probably right.
100% true.
That's correct.
Well, so guys, for the latest deals, always go to firearmsradio.net/PA for the most up-to-date deal that we have on our network, and always use promo code FRN, get you mounted for free. So we're going to get into our first story now. Sabby, how much are you familiar with the governor of the great state of Florida?
Is that Ron DeSantis?
That's correct.
I don't know too much.
But you do know that many people don't like him because he didn't do a COVID.
Yeah, I'm sure they've done a few sketches about him on SNL.
I'm actually sure they have.
I'm sure they have.
Yeah, speaking of things that are not comedy. But so Ron DeSantis has made the news this week. He is pushing Florida's lawmakers to loosen the state's gun laws. Can you believe that?
Is he a fascist?
I mean, look at him. And so I was actually looking at this article. It's from Yahoo Finance, who are actually somewhat neutral, you know, in terms of evil, biased journalism lizards, right? They're more on the land dwelling side. They're actually reporting here a massive change to the state's gun laws looks almost certain to take place in the next session. High-ranking legislators have publicly supported the governor's push for looser gun laws. What he's actually advocating for here is permitless carry.
I was about to say permitless carry is the one that's big.
Yep. And honestly, we're way overdue for it here. But the thing that just got me, right? It's like, oh, Yahoo, you're actually being a little fair on this. You know, you're saying that it's really coming. People are asking for it. And then they have to add this paragraph. This push comes less than 5 years after the Parkland school shooting, which took place in the state of February 2018.
Everyone knows he would have open carried the gun more even openerly if he could have, but the law wouldn't let him.
Yeah, so are you familiar with the Parkland shooting, Savvy?
Oh yeah.
How much does that shooting, where a deranged child takes an AR-15 to go and do a murder,
notable Las Vegas,
to do a very notable Las Vegas, how relevant do you think carrying a concealed pistol would be to something like that?
Well, you know, I think where they fucked up is they should have made shooting up a school illegal.
That
should have been first on the agenda and said, hey buddies, you can't do that because it's illegal and you'll go to jail. Then he would have thought twice.
That would have stopped them. It would have been that's the line in the sand.
But yeah, that just I don't know why it gets to me. It's like, if you're ever wondering how long ago the last major mass casualty event was in the state of Florida, just search Florida gun news, right? Find the most recent one and you'll find out how long ago it was. And currently it's less than 5 years ago.
There we go.
I'm very concerned about this potential legislation because I do not think it would make our communities less safe. I do think it would make our communities less safe. That was written in a very Martian way. This is Fentrice Driscoll, the Democratic State House Minority Leader in the state of Florida. It wouldn't surprise me, says Driscoll, if we saw a special session on this prior to the regular session. The regular session begins on March 7th. There's a supermajority in the Florida House. So, like, mathematically, right, there's no reason they shouldn't do this and also, repeal all of the Florida gun laws in the coming session.
All of them.
Yeah. What's the over-under that they don't do anything instead?
50-50. Because
you think it's that high?
Well, it depends on how many notable Las Vegases occur between now and then.
It's a sad thing.
Maybe we'll.
It's really sad, but yeah.
You don't need a permit, but you got to wear a T-shirt that says "Pack and Heat."
There's a compromise. A shirt that says "I'm packing" with an arrow pointing to wherever you're gonna have the gun.
You got your gun. You got your T-shirt. No permit. You're good to go. Look, if they want to stop these school shootings, you see a guy with a bowl cut within 50 feet of one of these buildings, you just put him down. Let him know we're going to make this act of his illegal sooner or later. Justice will be done.
That's true. I mean, if we did just go around shooting bowl cuts, right? I'm sure there would be an effect.
They think they can just get away with it forever? I don't think so.
Oh, well, that's fantastic. So yeah, we'll see. I've just observed when the Republicans in the state of Florida held a supermajority and also passed the only gun control we'd seen in the state within 40 years. Right. So we'll have to look and see. Next up, this is actually something that one of my guests put in here. The Illinois House Rules Committee hearing, assault weapons ban. That was very well written, that headline. I think what this is saying is that the Illinois House Rules Committee held a hearing on a assault weapon ban for the state. And you know what? It's about damn time. These politicians, their biological clock is ticking. They, as a politician, if you do not say some dumb shit about guns at least 3 times a week, like, what's your purpose?
Their scales start falling off. They get dry.
So what did we get? Mr. Bob Morgan. That's a total real name, right?
Yeah, he's the author of this bill or what have you.
Bob Morgan. Let's take a look at this cat. Take a
look. His smile is something.
God damn.
Look at those chompers.
Would you go camping with that face?
Absolutely.
No.
You see that face in the cut? That's a welcome sight.
Oh God.
You can see it in his reptilian-like eyes.
I feel like that's the type of smile and eyes that, if you're out camping and you turn around and you just see them teeth just hovering there, you're gonna be, what you're gonna think to yourself? I'm all right.
I'm doing good. I'm safe now.
Yeah.
Your flashlight shines off of those things. You're fucking blind.
You start falling over.
He takes your AR-15, scurries back into the woods.
Well, listen. He made some excellent points here. No one uses an AR-15 to protect their families against an intruder.
No, literally never happened.
Case closed. Not one.
Stop the vote. Stop the count. Stop the count.
Google it.
Never happened. Stop the
Not
count.
once.
Yeah, you Google it, you'll find my tweet, Mr. Morgan. I said it.
You Google it, I'll Google you. You don't want that.
Assault weapons, like the ones we saw mow down our friends on the 4th, or recently East Garfield Park, aren't used for protection. They're designed for one purpose: to kill as many people as quickly as possible.
Race war. They only exist for the race war, and we all know it.
Yeah, that's what is it? The Aryan rifle Mark 15, right?
Right.
And then on the other side, you have the Aryan killer Model 47.
Damn.
Yep.
Two sides of the same coin. C'est la vie.
That's just how it be. So that's, I don't know. What do you think? What do you guys think? Does this bill have legs? Because I know that Chicago has like a disproportionate amount of say right over the rest of the state, but I'm pretty sure the rest of the state is very intolerant of this type of behavior.
It seems that way. I listened to most of the 3 days of hearings, and there was a lot of the sort of usual insanity, like people insisting the Second Amendment isn't an individual right. That's where we are in the current year, and luckily some of the panelists pushed back and insisted that the people is where you get the individual right from, because that's how the First Amendment works, and the Fourth and the Ninth, and many of the other ones. That language shows up multiple times, but it was. Yeah,
but this one's different.
This one's different because all of the harpies in red shirts were very insistent it's different, and they clapped, and that was good.
Did they clap big?
They clapped big whenever they said that this is the NRA talking, and we can't listen to them. They clapped big because you can't do that.
I mean, sounds like game over.
The evil NRA, but I mean, it's just sort of maybe this is our tale of two cities, like. Or tale of two states. Florida's there scaring people with like, we're going to let people carry guns. And Illinois, on the other hand, is like the total opposite direction, where it's like, all of our politicians live in this one city. So we think that you guys don't need these things.
That's always a telling thing.
We'll get the guns to the people who need them. Wink.
There's
a box of Aryan killer rifles. Behind the Sunoco, they'll find their way to the right hands.
That's trickle down gun economics. I think.
Who needs citizens buying them? I mean, come on. We're gonna get them to who needs them.
And who needs them? That's who gets them. It makes sense.
First come, first serve.
The thing about this law that really gets me is there's like multiple places in it. If you go and read the text of it, it's like not stuff that's loopholes so much as like they don't understand the words they've written. And I won't go into specifics about it because and this is something that I think finally gun organizations are starting to realize, is that you can't go to these hearings and negotiate the content of the bill, because all that you'll do is make their bill better for when it passes. So like currently the way this bill's written is it will go much, much farther than they intend for it to. And whenever you bring that to a judge, you stand a much better chance of getting the whole law thrown out than if like you tell them, hey, this is actually going to make felons of everyone, not just the like tiny little group that you think you're targeting.
Right.
And so
Warden's got to eat.
The gun control.
Warden's got to eat too, bro.
the gun advocacy groups, the national orgs and the state orgs have specifically put out things saying we're not negotiating with this. We're not going to tell them why the law is bad. We're just going to see if they pass it. And then because the sign of a stable democracy is the only way that your rights end up being maintained is whenever the courts tell the legislators to stop doing that. That's a stable democracy. When the legislators like, the Constitution, whatever, we'll wait and see what the courts say. The courts will decide what it means.
This whole democracy thing, I never thought it was a good idea to begin with.
For the birds.
Yeah, that's just for the birds. Well, bro, you vote?
You think birds are real? The Constitution is for the CIA spy drones.
We got another thing in here. It wasn't like a big story, but we got Poe Murray, which what a name. They named this guy after a shrimp sandwich. Can you believe that? That's Po Boy Murray.
Poe Murray.
Oh man.
He's from the Newtown I'm assuming this is a man.
Yeah,
Newtown
well,
Action
that's
She,
Alliance.
from
it's she.
Newtown.
It's she.
It's a woman?
Yeah, it is.
Oh, well, anyway, Po Boy Murray of Newtown Action Alliance used her. Oh, it says her right here. Wow, I read really good. I didn't even mean for that. No, I meant for that to be a dig. Whatever.
Yeah, there we go. Got him.
Used her connections in Congress, specifically another great name, Dick Durbin. Good old Dick
Tricky
Durbin.
Dick.
To set up meetings between CDC, Center for Disease Control officials, and anti-gun lobbyists to result in the removal of self-defense statistics from the CDC website. There's a great article on this on the Reload. Gutowski, again, he's one of the only journalists that are still good. I gotta get him on this show at some point.
That would be good.
Yeah, Ivan PhD. He'd be down. He's cool. Here's the thing. For the longest time, right, they harp on gun deaths, right? And Sabby, so let's test somebody who's kind of an outsider to the gun question more broadly. When you hear gun deaths, right? Gun deaths are a huge source of death.
40,000 a year.
Yeah, 40,000 a year. What does that make you think?
When I hear gun death, I think of that scene from Who Framed Roger Rabbit when they dip that gun into the soup. And cries out. I'll vote for whatever they want. 'Cause now I'm thinking,
Won't someone think
I'm
of the poor
emotional
gun?
now. Whoever wants me to vote, just do it quick while I'm emotional.
Yeah. So, but I mean, do you think that that's like all murders or what?
How many did you say?
Like 40,000, 30,000, 40,000 a year.
I would think most of it is probably suicide.
Bang. Bingo. So
I mean, people sure do love doing suicide.
people do love that. I'm gonna have to beat that.
It's making a comeback. It was out of vogue.
Yeah, no, it's almost like we locked everyone at home alone.
Wow.
We locked everyone at home alone with their guns. Oh wow. Staring at your gun and your pile of overdue bills in the morning.
Imagine
Why
that.
did I have this? Bang.
Well, yeah, this one's not getting monetized, but that's fine.
You cut that one. You can cut that one.
No, it's good. I like it better this way. Bro, having you on here, it was never getting monetized. The
I'm
one
the king
thing
of that.
So the way the data actually works out is that there's like gun homicides are between 10, 11, 12, 13, 14,000 a year, less than half of the total number that they spout. And even when you confront the anti-gun side with that, they're like, oh, that's still an outrageous amount. That's still an outrageous amount. And then you get to stop them and say, okay, well, how many, and I'll ask you this, Sabby, if 14,000 people are killed by a gun, because the guns do, guns do that. Like the other day, I was walking down the street, I saw a handgun crossing in front of me. I thought to myself, there goes the neighborhood.
You got to step back. You got to step back.
Mm-hmm. But so 14,000 people killed, gun involved. How many times a year do you think people use a gun, not necessarily shoot another person, but use a gun in defense of their lives?
Out of 14,000?
No. I'm saying 14,000 people die related to guns. How many times do you think people use guns to protect themselves? Like, it could be, pointing it at a burglar or a carjacker or something to make them reconsider their life choices.
I guess I would have to see stats on burglaries and robbings, and I think it would kind of correlate with that somewhat.
But what's your gut?
Out of, I don't know, maybe a couple thousand.
So this is an interesting thing.
It's a big country.
The federal government, with CDC data, their estimates, and these were some of the lowest estimates, by the way, would put those at around 60 to 100,000 per year.
Whoa.
Other data, the most reliable data, in my opinion, puts it around 300,000, and some of the more extreme data is up in the millions.
And is this just like the gun was brandished or it was used?
It was, well, used would include brandishing.
Okay. Well, like fired. How many
right.
do you think?
And the thing is, most of the time when you stop a crime with a gun, let me ask you this. You're a somewhat rational human being, right? All right, don't answer that.
I can't. Legally, I can't.
So if you would just, let's say you were driving your car down the street.
Let me stop you. I'm unloading the whole clip. Whoever it is. If it's on me, I'm gonna.
Let me ask you. You drive in your car. Somebody comes up, indicates that they would like the car. You point the gun at them before you have the opportunity to, as you say, unload this clip. They, run screaming and urinate. Would you then call the police?
No.
Right. And that's obvious.
I'd be like, that's my victory for this week. I'm going to go reward myself.
So that's the thing. It's very hard to track defensive gun uses because people who win tend not to want to snitch on themselves out of a fear that the cops will come and do something weird to them because, we have such a great relationship with law enforcement in this country. So it's very hard to get these numbers, and they would do it in a whole different number of ways. And it was great having the federal government have data on this. And now they're just getting rid of it.
It's totally gone. And
who needs data? I mean, come on.
You would the way it went down was kind of interesting because the data was there and publicly accessible on CDC's like gun violence statistics page is like defensive gun uses or whatever.
Right.
And they had the range of values like 60 grand at the low end and it's like 3 million at the high end. But the 3 million number is like, that's like, if you go and read that paper, it's like, that there's so much extrapolation going on. Probably not. Right. And, the same way with the 60 grand, it's like you took the most rural of places and extrapolated it to cities. That's not quite fair either. So it's like somewhere in the middle, though, we should be able to agree that's where the data suggests it exists. So it's a significant number.
I mean, why should it be public? You don't do your own research, bro. We got experts to do your research for you.
And so
if you're thinking about looking at data sets, forget about it. We got people. All right, you just look up what they're saying.
They left the data sets though for the shit that is anti-gun.
And
it's a pure coincidence.
All of the numbers, all of the stats entirely disappeared overnight, and people wondered why that was. And so one of the gun lawyer Twitters, I think he's with one of the California state gun rights groups, he FOIA requested the CDC saying like, where did this go? And they took forever to get back to him. Like there was enough foot dragging. It's like, I think we know what happened, but they ended up, furnishing him the emails that showed Poe Murray got in touch with Dick Durbin to organize a sit down between anti-gun activists and the CDC. And they eventually pressured the CDC into removing these numbers. So, the party that would otherwise, like, they were all about trusting the science and guns are bad because look at all these numbers, found some numbers that made guns look good. And they were like, you can't see these numbers. It's very important.
Are bad numbers.
Oh, yeah,
very important that you don't see these numbers.
That's fair.
I agree. I think that makes a lot of sense, to be honest. Because
we're just going to take off all the stuff that we don't like. That's all. You can keep all the other stuff on there.
So that's why, like, when I open up my my banking app, I just go ahead and I have a little piece of tape over my primary account. It's been so much better. Right? You don't need that.
Yeah, it's different.
You don't need that information. But anyway, so yeah, that's really turbo annoying.
Who's Dick Durbin?
He's a senator from a real shithole of a state.
Yeah.
Sounds like an Attitude Era wrestler.
He wears the extra tight shorts.
He wears a turban because it rhymes with Durbin. You know how Attitude Era works.
Yeah, the Durbin turban. That would be a good shtick. It would be a good
Special
shtick.
move if he rubs his ass in your face or something. They were going wild back then. All right, so you punch him in the neck and then puke on him. That'll be a special move. Can you puke on command? You're fired. Get out. We'll find someone who can.
That's your special move. That's right. Well, it's advancing now. This is something that I think about a lot because I'm involved. I've been involved for most of my career in federal criminal trials involving firearms. And it always seems like that these things are rare, where they bring specific just gun charges against people.
Right.
Of course, there's many instances where they tack on, right, where they like staple it on top. But then I saw this article in one federal district, the Eastern District of Virginia, and that's the bad one, by the way, where they've got Nova and and all them colleges. In Eastern District of Virginia alone, 250 people approximately charged with firearm-related offenses in 2022 alone.
Was it switches?
Well, that data isn't in front of us, but it's straight up because one, that's the closest district that these DC cats can get to, right? That's
Right.
actually populous, and two, this is clearly, in my opinion, a result of the federal government putting on this tour de force where, oh yeah, no, there's a lot of like weird gun laws that we know nobody's even aware of, and we're gonna fuck you. Zero
Right.
tolerance. For example, like one clear case is the Tata Damiak. The guy, I still put the fundraiser. You guys need to put the money in the hole because that
Do
guy
it.
is looking at a long time for owning a parts kit that he bought with a fucking credit card on the regular old internet. He didn't even go to the advanced special edition internet, right?
The gamer web.
And for a parts kit and a Sab, have you ever like gone to a gun show or whatever, like a weird bar, and they've got the bazooka up on the wall, it's got a hole in it?
Yeah, I've seen a couple of bazookas in the day.
Yeah. Did you ever think, yeah, if I buy this bazooka that's got a hole in it and that clearly says training, right, inactive, I might go to jail for like a long time?
I thought it'd make a nice mantelpiece.
Well,
I thought, damn, I wish I had that on my mantle.
yeah. Well,
Fuck.
So yeah, this is a quote from Representative Jessica D. Aber, a U.S. attorney for the Eastern District of Virginia. Removing illegal firearms from the hands of felons and other prohibited people is a significant tactic in our office's efforts to reduce gun violence and keep our communities safe. If not taken,
felons.
Yeah.
Is that
'Cause if you-
racism?
How are you going to get guns out of the hands of felons if you don't make everyone a felon to begin with?
That's a smart way to do it. Stalin agrees. That's how you make everyone not hungry. Is you just find all the hungry people, you get them in a line, and then you aim, and then they're not hungry
then you
anymore.
do other stuff. Well, listen, if not taken out of circulation, the same weapon can be passed along and used in multiple crimes by many people. This is what we we call the Eastern District merry-go-round.
Like
The community gun share.
Oh, community guns? Is it community guns again?
No.
Oh, damn. I love community guns.
The forfeiture of these illegal firearms ensures they will not be used in the future against our law enforcement partners or community members.
Huh.
I always love that. That's the first thing they say. It's like, oh, we got to protect the cops from the guns.
We got to protect ourselves. Oh, I guess you guys too. Yeah. You guys. Mostly
Yeah. Yeah. Have you seen bazooka crime in the Eastern District?
Crime doers running around with bazookas these days. They got big ass holes in them. They're blasting off in any which direction. They can't even aim these things. And we're selling them at grocery stores. These laws need to change.
We need to do our part. Yeah.
I wish you could buy a bazooka at the grocery store.
Charges that went through Eastern District of Virginia over the past year included possession of a firearm as a convicted felon, using false statements to buy a firearm, and buying unregistered firearms, including machine guns.
Wow.
There were also several 2022 cases related to straw purchasing of a firearm, which is when someone that is not able to buy a firearm, like a felon, recruits someone else to purchase it for them. So these are clearly like very disgusting, heinous crimes, right?
Yeah. I
Like,
mean,
having
that's
a
the
gun
worst.
after, having been convicted of some bullshit crime. Can you imagine?
These are bad guys.
And this is, of course, people who have done their time and are now out. Can you imagine that they owned something?
The streets are now safer with them put away, and I expect there to be no gun crime in Virginia ever again. They fixed it right here. It's solved. It's done.
What if we let those people have a job or something like that?
We shouldn't do that.
Chaos.
Instead, we should just make them slaves with one leg always tied to the prison, so you can yank them back in whenever it's convenient, but then let them back out so they can vote for the right team, but then put it back.
Yeah, no, we just got to get a 200-meter long cord.
Exactly.
And then
just enough to get to the nearest polling place, but then you need them back in.
And you make sure to put the prison right in the middle of the city center.
The highway trash doesn't pick itself up.
Yeah, it's true.
Very true, good sir.
That's true. Well, you know what else is true and good? Our sponsor, VZGrips.com. VZGrips is a Florida-based purveyor of fine G10-based alloy grips, and they have wonderful names. Like right here, we have great selections such as the VZ Tactical Slant. That's the slant, baby. Shop right now for the Beretta 92X compact grip. You're right there. As low as 65 United States dollars. But I'll tell you something. If you use the promotional code ThisWeek15, you will get an additional discount, approximately 15% off of your order. And I can tell you, any gun that you have is going to look more fly with VZ grips on them. For example, and Mr. Ivan, you haven't been on when I brandished this puppy.
Yeah, but we talked about it a lot. At least
we have talked about this thing extensively, and my camera won't focus. That's fine. But this is my FEG, and I recently learned from one of my supporters that FEG, the Hungarian gun company, it's not pronounced the way that it's spelled.
Yeah.
Because it's spelled using human words. If you're a Hungarian individual, you would know to pronounce it FEG.
I'm aware of this fact and call it fag anyway.
Yeah, because you really sound like a big dude when you say, "Check out my FEG. It's 40 caliber." My FEG was made for the Lithuanian thing, and they did a bad job, and now it's a 40.
There was a contract, and then there wasn't a contract.
Yeah,
and then they sold them all to us.
Yeah. They were like, Lithuania was like, "We want the gun in 40," and FEG says, "Okay, we'll make some. You're gonna pay us double, right?" And Lithuania goes, "What?" And they go, "Bye-bye." Now I have it. But yeah, so that's cool. They had the grips for it on the website. That's the hyena brown. This is the light striation pattern. Felt so good. You guys got to check them out. Florida company, good supporter of the show, and haven't yet complained about what an insane manic asshole I am.
Based.
Savvy, I want you to see the grips they sent me when they first became a sponsor. What do you think of that?
Oh yeah, that's so you.
What do you see? For the audio listeners,
I see a mirror. I'm looking inside my own heart.
That's good. Well, you audio listeners will have to check the video to see what he's talking about, but I'll just tell you, it's my Miku grips on my Dan Wesson 10mm 1911, which is custom engineered to upset boomers.
And for those of you who are normal and don't know what a Miku grip is, it's an anime.
It's not an anime.
There's an anime.
It's not an anime.
It's not an anime.
Not
it's
anime.
vocal. It's different.
It's different. Shut up. Shut up or I'll cry.
It's an anime, but it does the words with its voice.
Robot. Anyway, Don't make fun of me. I'll cry. I'll end the stream right now.
I'll crash the stream into the ground.
Yeah, I'll turn the stream around. So yeah, this week 15, vzgrips.com. Check them out. So this is important. We've talked a lot about cleaning up the crime guns, yanking the criminals back into the cage with the little cord. That's
Get them back in there.
Keep them in there. Yeah. What are you doing?
You think
So
you're getting
now-
an office job? Oh no.
No.
Back to the street. So Washington, they got the magazine ban, right? They passed a ban on high capacity, large cap magazines. There was a gun shop in Washington. Some very brave officers who are, and they put their lives on the line every day. These officers, the 25th most dangerous profession. All right,
it's
So we
very
need to-
dangerous.
very dangerous. They went in undercover, and they were able to successfully purchase a 13-round clip for a Glock,
Weapon of mass destruction.
for a Glock 26, and a 15-round clip for a Glock 22. And as some of you are aware, that's 40.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got them.
So, what do you think the fine for that was?
Oh, geez, 50
I don't even
grand.
want to guess.
$15,000.
Okay.
That's two $10 pieces of plastic.
Why are they fining him for this?
Because
they
it's
broke-
against the law. Because it had the wrong number.
Law. They broke the law.
Which state?
This is Washington State.
You can have a clip over what?
10.
10 now.
Really?
Of course, wasn't that enjoined just recently?
No, that's Oregon.
Oh, Oregon. That's right. I'm messing up the miserable states that direction.
All these anti-gun laws. It's almost like the government's afraid of something. I don't know. That makes me thinky.
This is going to be Lakewood Gun Shop. WGS Guns will pay $15,000 to the state attorney general's office after it broke the state's ban on the sale of high capacity magazines for firearms.
Do you think they could pay the 15,000 in like hazmat material?
So
What's 15 grand of TNT weigh?
I love the way this is reported. Investigators visited the shop 2 months after the ban went into effect in July and were able to buy 2 high-capacity magazines, a 13-round clip for a Glock 23 pistol, and a 15-round clip for a Glock 22. According to a news release, a clerk said he would have to ring up the purchase as something else and provided the investigators a false receipt for 9mm ammunition.
Wow.
Bastard.
This is like
This is one of those moments where I really want to know what these quote unquote investigators who did big investigative work here. First off, I want to know how much they make because it's got to be way too much. But I want to know what they think they're accomplishing here.
Oh, I thought you were going to say, I want to know what they look like, because I want to know what they look like.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
What?
you know that
I want to know what they look like. I want to know where they live.
No, I'm assuming they're not over 5'10".
Of course. But like, if you're in their mind, what is it that they think they're doing here? Like, I guess it's their jobs, right? They're following orders, but like all the lives they're saving.
You know
Do you
that
think- do you
undercover
think-
cop who went in with the Mongols for like 30 years? They're just like him.
Like you think when they signed up to be cops, they were like, "Oh, we're gonna do some down and dirty undercover work. We're gonna sting some drug gangs." And then their boss is like, "Would you go like try and buy a magazine from a gun store or something?"
Yeah, a magazine that's like technically just barely over the limit.
Bob Ferguson, the attorney general, he needs more money. If you could go shake some people down, you're basically like mafia goons. Could you do that for us? And they're like, "Oh, this is not the coolest job." Am I the bad guy? The answer is yes.
You know what it is? I mean, and honestly, because I've met a lot of these cops, they're not evil. They're just automatons.
Yeah.
Like, you wake them up in the morning, and by wake up, I mean you like put a little electric on them.
Yep.
and then you wind them up and you point them at something. And that day it just happened to be, go in there. What are my parameters? Get a gun that does, or a magazine that does more than 10, okay? And they're like, 11 is good? 11 is good. And so they go off to do it.
Heroes.
Yeah, the heroes. We need to defend the blues.
Salute them.
The thin
At once.
blues.
Uh,
And so terribly often they aren't thin.
I do love that though. It's like, yeah, the guy who went undercover for 30 years, he's just like me.
I'm just like him.
That's me.
I got the magazine.
That's who I am. You're
They're
just
gonna-
a civilian.
They're gonna
With
put
a
my
clip
picture
with
on a
one too many bullets.
only I get the big
$1,000.
clip.
The government just wants to wet their beak. Put the squeeze on them. Just with a little taste.
Oh, that's big.
Yeah, we got to build schools or something.
Yeah.
We got to pave the roads.
Yeah. What are you gonna do with that 15 grand? Oh, you know.
Infrastructure.
We're gonna buy some clips.
Infrastructure.
I do, but you know what's crazy? They swept 25 gun shops, and only 2 were flagrantly violating the law.
Yeah.
That's impressive.
So how about this? In the course of their investigation, assuming that they didn't just like go gun shop to gun shop because they were bored and the donut shop was closed, I wonder, like, if they actually like investigated these things, I wonder if it ended up costing the taxpayers in the state more than 15 grand to pull this off.
Did they go to a lab
Absolutely.
to like test the
Like
capacity?
they go to the lab with their like finely calibrated bullets and load them in one at a time with their nitrile gloves.
Yeah. No, I do wonder if they were buying like 10-round magazines, being like, nah, this is gonna be the one. this is
Can
gonna
you imagine? They sit there on the hydraulic press trying to ram that 11th round in, like, oh, you're going to jail.
Done. Our sweep confirmed that the overwhelming majority of gun retailers in Washington are doing the right thing and complying with the law, Attorney General Ferguson said in a news release. We will continue to proactively enforce this law and take action against anyone who illegally sells high-capacity magazines. Heroes.
You will be a good boy. Or you'll get a visit from us. You only need 10 bullets to protect yourself, dude. One more than that and you're going to prison, right?
Yeah, what are you doing? What are you doing with 11 rounds? What is the deer wearing a Kevlar?
Yeah.
He's got one of those bazookas.
You spraying and praying?
You must be a lousy shot.
Only we know how to do that.
Yeah, only we get to be the lousy shot.
We can't stop shooting ourselves, so we got these 12-pound triggers, right?
Yeah,
So we need a 30-shot clip.
we need a 30-shot clip so you don't gotta reload.
While they're hammering away.
When you tag
Bystanders,
yourself.
cats and dogs, we shoot them all.
Yeah, especially them 320s. Woo!
They sure got a hair trigger. Can't stop
God.
shooting ourselves with them.
So next we got a couple things on Texas. First is Attorney General Paxton has joined a coalition of states in sending 2 letters led by Montana lawmakers to FedEx Corporation and UPS over reports that the companies have updated their terms of service for gun owners to basically make it almost impossible. The new terms for these companies require individuals who possess FFLs to comply with ridiculous regulations, like just to be able to have the pleasure of putting an item in the box and sending it on a truck. These letters from these lawmakers note that FFL holders allege the new regulations allow UPS and FedEx to track firearm sales with unprecedented specificity and bypass warrant requirements to share that information directly with federal agencies. So it is pretty fucked up.
Right.
That sounds pretty fucked up.
Yeah, no, basically it was this huge thing earlier this year, or was it late last year? A bunch of these attorney generals got together and they were fixing to sue UPS for transporting ghost guns, and UPS is like, I don't fucking know what people are sending, right? And then all of a sudden, the lawsuit went away, and they start changing their terms for anyone who works in the firearms business.
Yep.
And if they find out, so basically, if you're selling guns or certain gun parts, which the way it's written on UPS at least is almost any gun part, and you ship it, like you just ship it regular through UPS, and they find out, you're blacklisted. Like they're not going to take stuff from you.
Ever?
If you're going to ship gun stuff through UPS as a business, you need to have a contract with UPS where you agree to all this shit, where basically we want to know exactly what's in every box. We're going to snitch on you. We're going to literally tell the feds everything. And I think it's also, you wind up paying more. So
if you get caught, are you banned from UPS? Like totally?
I feel like that would be impossible, but it's theoretically possible.
Like per se, you wanted to order, I don't know, like a special flavor of blow pop that they don't sell in stores very often. Would they still deliver it?
I think they would deliver it.
I mean, to your home.
Yeah, I think if you then, if you wanted to then send this blow pop on yourself, you might have a problem.
Gamer strat. You DDoS UPS. You get them to blacklist you for deliveries, right? And then you just have all your buddies send that address like thousands of things until their warehouses are just full of stuff they can't deliver and they can't destroy it fast enough. You just DDoS UPS.
Gamers unite.
That's a physical DDoS. It's like literally boxes of go outside, find the cat turds, box them up.
We just need to know. Well, we need it to be gun parts.
Pronto.
We need it to be gun parts, so they're not sure if they can just like straight up destroy them, or they need to get the feds involved.
What if they're gun parts made out of cat shit?
We need to know somebody who owns like 2,000 or 3,000 A2 grips or something,
and
right?
A lot of cat shit. That stuff is pretty sturdy. I don't know if you have a cat. It's like adamantium.
I feel like we could make if we got some type of mold, we could make an AR lower out of cat shit.
Out of cat shit.
Just put that in the DDoS. But yeah, so I don't actually know what these lawmakers are going to do, and that's the thing here. Here's the thing that sucks. I always get mad when people are saying like, "Oh, it's Facebook, it's a private company; they can do what they want." Well, this is one of those situations where UPS and FedEx are common carriers. They are. So, like, the law is a little different when it applies to them. They're not supposed to be able to discriminate in certain ways. This isn't quite one of those ways. And they are private companies, and we do have alternatives. And then the ironic thing is now the least burdensome thing to do if you're in the gun industry is to just use the post office. Which is so,
damn, this goes deep.
It's so weird.
Conspiracy shit.
It's so weird. So I don't know what these lawmakers are going to do, but it will be interesting.
Is behind this shit. They need the business.
Gun control is a jobs program for you.
We're in the fucking gutter, boys. We got to do something.
I do wonder if these state lawmakers that were at the beginning of this push realize that like the industry isn't going to just stop operating.
Right. Well,
it's just going to go through the mail.
It's their usual death of a cat thousand cuts thing.
Right.
Probably what they were after.
They don't realize things.
Like, yeah, it's a private company, but they're going to like bring political pressure, because they can, right? Their lawsuits cost them nothing. It costs us everything, but
yeah.
They will take their lawsuits and aim them at these private companies and use it as like a little kamikaze airplane and run right into these companies or threaten to run into them. And they're like, we'll waive off.
Yeah.
If you do us a favor, the lawsuit costs us nothing. We can make this lawsuit cost you millions.
Yep.
We will kamikaze this airplane straight into your company, or these guys we don't like, you could screw them hard.
Yeah.
And UPS sits there and they're like, they have the guy with the big calculator punch the buttons in his calculator and he goes, it will cost us less to screw these guys than fight a lawsuit. and then it's done, right? Because that's the private company thing. They're like, okay, well, it's more money in our pocket if we just screw them.
They'll be like, Joe, what's the big calculator say? And he's like, hold on. Fuck them.
Give the lizards what they want.
Give them what they want. Anyway, next up, speaking of private companies, we got MAF Corporation.
Yeah,
MAF Corporation.
they're the favorite, or the retailer of the chimes that Chingalang in the wind.
Yeah, got great stuff on the website. Some of the cheapest AR-15 parts you can imagine, and also some of the best apparel in the world.
One of the best T-shirts that was ever shirted with the sheet, and they got attractive models. Like he's the host of this show, actually.
What do you think of this, Abby? You think of this shirt?
I think it's beautiful. Is that made out of hemp?
No, it is made of like expensive cotton.
It's like a nice T-shirt. Is it like
everybody knows texture on it?
Everybody knows that T-shirt that you go and wash once and the graphic just comes right off of it. It's not like that. It's the other kind of T-shirt.
I got one.
Why are you making fun of my T-shirts?
God, that looks really good on purple.
It does. Purple is big. Here, let's pull it up. This is the AK vending machine shirt, which was spawned from this show, where I one time said, we should be buying AK-74s from vending machine like the founders intended. And so we had this art made. It's great. We have a great artist who thought up this thing. And my only piece of input was he had put Zenitco furniture on the AK-105, and I screamed at him. So that got fixed. And then I was like, you got to put Thomas Jefferson on it.
Gibbs just says it's good.
Yeah. So I love that shirt.
What does that say? What are those symbols? Is that Korean or Chinese?
No, that's Floridian.
Yeah, that's what they speak down there.
Yeah. So says.
That's what Creole looks like.
This says 545 number 1, and then this just says 74. Because these are AK-74s.
If enough people buy the shirt, the machines will materialize. We just gotta believe. Get it out there in the ether. The idea.
This is actually what I wrote. What did I wrote here? No, on the sticker. I'm actually proud of what I wrote on the sticker. Purchase this sticker to help Matt from Funbusters endeavor to make this a reality.
We're not saying that a sticker guarantees. We're not saying a sticker guarantees a vending machine in your neighborhood, but the chances will not be hurt.
No, it guarantees it. It's a 100% your money back guarantee.
Anyway, if you guys go on MAF, check out whatever you want over there. Use promotional code FRN, Foxtrot Romeo November. That's going to give you 5% off the site. I have confirmed that is the best discount you can get. So, because everything on the site is priced really aggressively to begin with. So check it out. Support us there. All right. Next up, you guys might have to watch your pacemakers. All right, girls.
Okay.
I pulled up an article from CNN.
Oh boy, that's the big one.
All right. This is a big one. City of Buffalo. And Buffalo is in New Pork.
Oh, yep.
The bad city from the end of Earthbound.
Yep, gross.
Yep.
I can't believe they made it a real thing.
It was a bad idea.
They should have left that one on the drawing board.
We fucked up, boys. We fucked this one up big time.
Too bad it was in permanent marker, not dry erase. We can't just get rid of it.
Yeah. So, a long time we talked about on the show New York's public nuisance law, which basically said that marketing of firearms in certain circumstance is a public nuisance. And this, of course, ignores almost 1,000 years of legal precedent on what is and is not a nuisance, which is a very delicate and important area of English law. But, when something is very delicate and important and just barely works, and you are a government in the northeastern United States, what do you do? Well, you fuck its eye socket, right? That's rational. So City of Buffalo has decided to test this out. They have filed a suit in Erie County, New York Supreme Court. It alleges firearm companies, and we got some like small names, right? Like, no namers like Smith & Wesson,
Never heard of
Beretta,
them.
Remington,
That sounds
Glock.
French.
Yes, Shrubmaster, as well as ghost gun companies, including Armor Ally and Palmer 80, contributed to a broad condition that endangers the safety and health of the public of the city of Buffalo.
This is actually insane.
Well, because we all know if it weren't for guns, Buffalo people would be totally tolerable, right?
They'd be normal. They'd be like
It'd be
like you and me
utopia.
and everybody else. They'd be normal humans.
Would you say, Savvy?
It's a utopia.
They took this from us.
They just have one problem. People owning things.
If we could just put them in a cube where they own nothing.
And you'll like it. It's good in the cube.
The cube is great.
Oh, try it. The bugs are tasty. They're better than you think. Try it.
So look, the city of Buffalo's got a point here. These gun manufacturers and distributor fueled violence in Buffalo by making or providing thousands of firearms that were recovered in crimes committed in the city of Buffalo and New York State. Members of our community have suffered too much and for too long from gun violence. This is Buffalo Mayor Byron W. Brown. That's way too many B's. Buffalo Mayor Byron Brown.
That's powerful.
We must do everything we can to decrease gun violence. Enabling the possession of illegal guns destroys lives and deeply affects our neighborhoods, especially in Black and brown communities.
Huh.
That's why they named their city after a delicious sauce.
Yeah.
I'm supposed to take him seriously?
Man.
I do like the sauce.
I acquiesce.
They talked to Shrubmaster.
Let's send him a letter concerning this and say, nice sauce.
Can you go back to Sauce Town?
This is
Focus on what you're good at.
So, yeah, Shrubmaster spoke up. They said, we have not had a chance to review the allegations in full at this time, but upon first blush, the verified allegations against Bushmaster Firearms Industries Incorporated are false.
This is
Very corporate
it's the same sort of thing with the UPS situation where like the city of Buffalo has like unlimited money in this regard, right? They can just waste it.
Yeah, they
just
steal it from all the poor people in Buffalo that are getting shot.
All these black and brown people, they can like stick their hands into their pockets and put that money in a general fund and then spend the general fund on insane things like this, where they're going to like spin up some, on its face, incredibly frivolous lawsuit where it's like all of these random companies who have no actual like physical support or connection to these events or seizures of firearms, we're going to sue you the same way that you could blame the microbrewery that made the beer that inspired the beer that a macro brewery made that a guy drank before he went and said a bad word and hit somebody at a bar. That's a public nuisance. That's a nuisance. Drunk people can be nuisance-y. But you should be able to sue the microbrewery for that because it's their fault.
That's an idea. Anybody out there, if you got a beer-related injury,
call me. I'm a lawyer.
Yeah, give me a call. There's some microbreweries out there that I hate. That may be responsible.
That was actually a very good. That analogy worked well. That I hate. I hate these these microbreweries hurt our community. Is what happens. How that worked.
Listen, the conduct of certain gun manufacturers has unreasonably interfered with the public's right to use open space free from fear. My favorite thing about this type of dogma is the data shows that the people who are most likely to be violently victimized, including by the state, right?
Yeah.
Are poor and minority people.
Yep.
So it's like, if you actually gave a damn about minority communities, you would be backing up the truck full of Dracos. And, like Sabby said, it's like first come. Like these people need to have protection because the cops. I mean, cops are worthless. Let's be honest.
The cops aren't there to protect them. The cops are there to like find people to put a chain on and then chain them to the prison and say, "Okay, you live
you
here
work
now."
on the road now. You're a road man.
Simon says, "Don't move."
Yeah.
Now crawl.
Simon didn't say.
Crawl. Boom, boom, boom.
And that's how the game is played.
But yeah, it's so tone deaf, right? It's like usually free from fear. Well, like objectively, what is more scary? Driving down the street, sitting on like just a small block Chevy with one wheel on it, right? And you're sitting on it. Or like being in a car with a seatbelt and an airbag, right?
Yeah.
You don't wear the seatbelt because you're like, I can't wait to crash. I'm gonna run these motherfuckers. Right? Like,
yeah.
Wait, hold on. Is that airbags in your car? What the fuck is wrong with you?
Are you going to wreck into a wall at a high rate of speed?
Yeah, no, in case something bad happens.
It's such like a common thing for a politician to say, I will eliminate the fear. I will defeat it.
And I will sacrifice. I am prepared to sacrifice your lives and money.
Do it.
I think the way that stuff like this gets beat is there needs to be like a focus. I'm going to say our side, although as if it's the right side, because it's my opinion, and that's always right because I'm a doctor.
And then, by the way, our side is just the three of us in here.
Yeah,
because God knows we don't agree with the rest of the gun community a lot of the times.
That's
just
true.
when they like believe in like magnets and magic, right?
but the way you get ahead of this is you need to clearly broadcast to the public how much publicity stunts like this cost, right? Because at the end of the day, if this lawsuit goes forward, I know the way lawsuits work. It's going to end up costing millions of dollars in lawyers' fees very quickly. I mean, it takes a lawsuit lasts a year. It's millions of dollars in lawyers' fees. People who want to like win elections against these sorts of people need to say like, look, this guy spent. This person will harp about we need to invest in our black and brown communities and lift them up out of violence, and that's noble. I agree with that. And then they'll go and spend $2 million pissing away money to say we don't like guns.
It's like, hey, where that infrastructure be?
They gave $2 million.
Center. There's 2 hoops in there. What else do you want?
You want a net for that hoop? Chains instead.
No nets. We gave you the hoops. You want nets?
We have lawsuits.
Prices are going to have to go up if you want the nets.
we have frivolous lawsuits to file. You don't need a net.
How can I afford your net and a bench?
First, we'll eliminate fear, and then we'll get to the nets.
Yeah, we promise. That's our first nets.
Stop death. Vote for me, and you will never die. Bobby W. Brown.
We need to find immortality, and then we will be on our way.
Yeah. Fountain of youth, boys. Just bear with me until then. Don't mind my suits.
Or be my actual tax slave until this point.
Hey, don't look at the governor's mansion. It's not weird.
No, it's not. It's not.
It's regular.
It's like a plantation.
If you pronounce my initials. It goes like boob. WB. Vote for me.
Well, so, except let's talk about that Oregon ban that we were talking about earlier. So, Oregon was trying to ban high capacity magazines, and another 10-rounder ban. 2 different lawsuits is flying, one in the federal side, one in the state side. Federal judge, like 2 days ago, was like, oh, you can go through. This is fine. We, not saying that it's 100% unconstitutional, but denying preliminary relief, right? In the outside of the case.
He wants to hear lizards in suits chatter at each other more.
Yeah, he wants to hear my people make the funny clicking noises.
They should ban hair dye. That's a real goddamn problem.
Wait, what?
Is there a single person in Portland that doesn't have warning coloring on top of their head?
Yeah, explain to the audience what you mean by warning coloring.
It means warning, danger. Do not sign a lease with me.
Do not sign a lease with me. No, so what Sabby's referring to is that the bright colors in nature, animals react with fear to bright colors because they're a sign of danger.
It typically means you're about to get fucked up.
Yeah.
Something is about to poison you or strike you vigorously or take about half of your income.
Yeah, and that holds true, right, with hair color. And yet some of y'all out in my audience be behaving the way you're behaving. Anyway, but hold on. Banning hair dye, though, would take away one of those major signaling utilities that we still have.
That's the last straw. That's how the uprising begins.
Completely emerged.
No! How can I be unique and special now?
I want to be unique just like the others. So anyway, 10-round mags they were going after. They were also looking to close the Charleston loophole, which is a lizard speak for being able to just trade things with your friends. Anyway, federal judge was saying the law can go forward, and then like the next day, the state judge, and state judges are usually like a little weak in the knees,
Yeah, they're usually like a state judge. They're a judge for the state on the state side.
He just smashes it. Harney County Circuit Court Judge Robert Ratio.
Get ratioed.
Robert ratioed measured 114. He said that if Measure 114 were implemented, it would violate Oregonians' state constitutional rights because they would be unable to lawfully purchase a firearm or bear a magazine capable of holding more than 10 rounds of information in the state of Oregon. Deprivation of a fundamental constitutional right for any period of time constitutes irreparable harm. Bam.
Amen.
And then
an art student.
In contrast, U.S. District Court Judge Karine Immergut. It's weak
Sounds
name.
like a real patriot.
Yeah.
Sounds like a real patriot.
He said that the plaintiff suing to block the voter-approved law from taking effect did not present sufficient evidence to show that they were entitled to extraordinary relief. So yeah, remember how the state judge said, yeah, no, they're taking your rights away. That's irreparable harm no matter how long. This is the federal judge. And, federal judges are much smarter. So he said it like this. Plaintiffs have failed to demonstrate that they will suffer immediate and irreparable harm if this court does not block Measure 114 from taking effect on December 8th, 2022.
Yeah, because 50.01% of people voted that the 49 point whatever remaining percent of people should be set on fire. And look, there's literally no proof that being set on fire would harm them because everyone else voted that it would be okay.
Yeah, no, I do love that they keep saying that. This was a voter-approved measure. It was literally 49%.
Who cares? Who cares?
It was literally like 51-49. Not even 51.
Yeah.
Yeah.
God, I hate that.
Sabby, why don't you do a voice for this judge?
Give me something to read.
Okay, hold on.
Is this the based judge?
No. This is Immergut.
Bad guy.
Bad judge.
Lily-livered.
The evidentiary record also shows that large capacity magazines are disproportionately used in crimes involving mass shootings. Immergut wrote.
How are you going to argue with that?
That's true.
Well, all right. So that's...
People don't think like that, but it's true.
Yeah. That is news. I'm not sure how great of news it is because...
Constitutional rights. He's some sort of fucking fascist, dude.
I'm not even sure. How does something like that get squared?
Well, Oregon... So if they're applying the state constitutional right, they're bound by state constitutional precedent, which in Oregon is not amazing. So we'll see. And also remember, the federal case isn't over.
Right.
It's just that it's proceeding, maintaining the status quo, which is not actually the status quo. It's proceeding, allowing the government to go forward.
Right.
Regardless,
It's
it's still
incredible.
blocked. So there is an opportunity for the government to appeal this, interlocutorily. We'll see what happens. But insofar as seeing what happens, we got one more sponsor. It's PatriotPatchCompany.com or PatriotPatch.co. It's a Patriot Patch Company. They are the people of the Patch of the Month Club. And if you couldn't tell, I am sporting. That's not you. That's hold on. Whatever. Okay. I am sporting the latest Patch of the Month edition. And this is the Santa Claus. All right. This is big. Check this out. December exclusive.
Santa's had enough.
Yep. He's
got a bazooka.
He's got a kukri. Yeah, and he's got a zook. Of course, it's an RPG-7, but we're going to call it a zook.
That's a zook.
That's a zuck, yeah. What do you think of that Santa, Sab?
I think he's a beautiful man.
That's true.
He's fed up and he ain't going to take it anymore.
No,
and
he's
neither
done.
should you.
And
follow Santa's example.
These
Rise
patches,
up, gamers.
These patches are made of that nice soft PVC that we like. It's really soft on your teeth when you chew it, when you get a little nervous.
Nice.
You get a little nervous and you can't find your fidget spinner. You chew on your patch.
Run out of snacks.
Snacks. But use code TWIG10 for a discount on any ordinary order. Join the Patch of the Month Club. I recommend it. I am officially in the Patch of the Month Club. I get one of these Douglases every month, and it's nice. When you join the Patch of the Month Club, you also get little arts. Look at this. I got the arts. I got the line art of what the patch originally was right here. And I also got a sticker of a more detailed art of the patch art. So check them out. Longtime supporters of the show. Very cool guys. They have been banned from most social media as well.
It's the perfect addition to your Christmas themed plate carrier setup.
All right, guys. Sabby, thank you so much for joining us. Where can people find you?
Thank you for having me. You can find me on Odyssey at the moment until the YouTube channel gets unbanned. That's The Bad Guys on Odyssey.
Yep. And what's your Patreon?
It's the same. The Bad Guys. It's patreon.com/The Bad Guys.
All right. Thank you. Mr. Ivan, where would you like people to find you?
You shouldn't find me. It'd be bad for you. It's bad for your mental and physical well-being. But if you're like me and you don't care about those things, I guess I'm Navi Go Boom some places, which is Ivan spelled backwards, so they won't find me. I'm incognito.
Go looking for him. That's the last thing you'll do.
They wouldn't think to do it backwards. And I guess I'm Ivan Prince Guns on YouTube and Utreon. If you wanna give me $1 dinero, I turn dineros into bullets, and then I make a funny video, and you give me haha 1 like.
That's the endorphin button.
You can do that, and then it's like that.
It's like that. It's just
It's
like
a fair exchange.
It's fair.
Big time.
Well, everybody, thank you so much for joining us. I'll give you my litany of excuses. I was gone for a while because our friend Control Pew, we love him so much. He has that Asian work ethic where he goes into the office no matter what, even when he's clearly suffering from a virus, and gave me the flu, which fucked me up for like 2 weeks.
It's true.
It fucked me up good. It fucked me up good and proper. And it's also my fault for not taking the flu shot and for kissing him.
And when he was on the telling phone,
he sounded like this. He sounded really sick.
Yeah. And he kept saying, "No, I'm not sick."
Yeah, you're not sick.
Yeah, but so yeah, I got wicked sick. I couldn't get anything done. It was I had COVID twice. This was way worse. And it was just a regular flu. So I usually take the flu shot mostly because the Publix supermarket, which is the best supermarket in the world, will give you $10 that I immediately then turn into fried chicken at the Publix. And I forgot to do that. So Anyway, that's why I was being bad. It's not because I don't love you guys. I actually really kind of like you guys a lot. All right. Anyway, thanks for joining us. See you next time.
Guns, 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 guns.
Guns, 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 guns.